thought the second half we played hard, competed. You know, I go to one stat. We had how many turnovers? 18 turnovers. They had 20 points off those turnovers. That's the game. That's the game. The aggressor wins. They came out initially in the first half. They looked like they were Louisville. We looked like we were App State. Looked like we were playing in their arena. It cannot happen. There has to be some pride, some toughness about being at home and coming out and fighting to get wins. That's what this program is built on. The passion that it is to protect your home court. I guess we're learning that, and I'll take the blame for that. This place is special. This program is special, and I need them to understand how special, and not with their words, with the way they fight, with the way they play, with their togetherness. I thought that other team, App State, was well coached. I thought they did some good things. We knew they wanted this game to be an offensive game, and we knew that we couldn't allow them to make this an offensive game. And by offensive game, I mean you score, I score. You score, I score. We're not comprised like that. We're not built like that. We have to be a defensive team. If we want to win against anybody, every person that steps on that floor has to be productive. If I knew walking into the game that I would be playing the game without Jalen, I would have said it's a loss. But hopefully we live and learn. I know they're really torn up in the locker room in there. They feel bad. And this is for everybody to really understand. If you watch us practice, you'll understand what we're dealing with. You can't play games and expect to win and have bad practices. Practices give you the confidence to know that you can go out and beat any and everybody you play against. So we shouldn't have 3 bad practices before a game, 2 bad practices before a game, and hope we turn on the light switch. There was nothing in our practices that would have indicated the second half the way we played. Nothing. That has to change. If that means we have to practice harder, longer, I guess that's what we'll have to do. But I'm hoping that we continue to get better, and there are places where we are getting better. I just need it for them to translate into a W. Questions?
Kenny, on the last shot, did you think it was good initially before you saw the replay?
I thought it was close. I thought initially it was good. But then as the refs got together, I could tell there was something. A couple of the coaches said it's good, congratulations, but, you know, you got to earn it. I don't want it to be flim. I want to earn it. I really want. I want them to earn it. I want them to walk out of the gym. Let's say we win that game, and we go shake the other team's hands. I want to feel that the other team knows that this is a really good team. I don't want opponents walking through shaking our hands feeling like they got away with one, if that makes sense.
Kenny, prior to that, App State's coming up the floor. It looked like you wanted them to foul. Was the decision trying to get them to foul a little bit sooner than they did, or what was the call there?
Maybe a second or two quicker. We was hoping to trap them and get them into a turnover, which you could tell they were a little bit shaky. But at the last second, you know, he made the foul. It was 9 or 10 seconds. I can't remember exactly. But it really didn't, as it played out, it still could have got the same basket a fraction earlier. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we could have got it a fraction earlier.
When you're talking about what you need, are you talking about guys playing with more intensity on defense, rebounding better, attacking the rim on offense harder?
I'm talking about a little bit of all of it, Rick. I'm talking about understanding that the best offensive teams are the best passing teams. How many assists do we have? 6. Who you going to beat? That means the ball is not moving. That means we're not driving and kicking. That means we're not assisting our teammates. That means it's one pass, two pass, and a shot. I want us to have 15 assists. I want us to have 15 assists, 20 assists. I want us to be a great passing team. I want us to move the ball. There were plays in the first half when constantly we've been preaching from day one, the ball doesn't stick. The ball doesn't stick. You're never going to catch the ball and not knowing what you're going to do with it. You're never going to catch the ball and take 2 dribbles and then pass it. You're never going to, that guy passes it after 2 dribbles, then he throws it to the next guy, he takes 2 dribbles. It's never going to happen. We don't practice that way. We don't want to play that way. We want the ball to move. We want to move the defenses, and then when we do dribble it, we're going north-south, meaning toward the basket, toward the lane. That's what we practice. But for some reasons, the emotions of the game, we get in the game and guys refuse to move. It's not just the guy's fault. A guy refuses to move to come up to give him a passing angle, and so he dribbles. It's a bunch of different things. It's the rebounding. We can't be a bad rebounding team and expect to win. It's the straight line drives, keeping the ball in front. We've been working on it a while now, and I'm saying retreat. I don't care how far you retreat, just retreat until he has to make a shot over you. We know what happens if he's around you. He's going to make a shot. So we've been working on these things, and I wish that they could get it and embrace it and do it consistently. I guess we'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until they get it. And when they do get it, they'll see different results. And let me say this, they deserve to have success. And I know they don't at times believe it. They're young, and so we don't have a bunch of experience. But we need to have some luck, some success so that we can build on it. And it's not about me, it's about them. So I feel bad for them, but I also know I want to deserve a win. I want us to go out and fight and get a win, not something good happens on the last play. There's a million plays that happen before that should determine a win and a loss.
Yeah, you kind of spoke about it a little bit, but it seemed like in the first half, you guys were getting a lot of good, a passing and ball movement, but just, shots weren't going up until there were like 6 seconds on the shot clock, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Are you trying to get those shots off, did you like the passing there, or was it something where you're going back and looking at it? Are you, kind of hoping that guys are taking more shots? Because it seemed like they just kept wanting to work the ball around and no one was wanting to take that shot.
So 2 things, great point that you just made. One, the ball should never be going around the perimeter and not toward the basket. So if the ball moves and it hits the other side of the court, then that person needs to get in that lane and create mismatches, create a drive, which defenses collapse. We know they're going to collapse. They're playing a pack line defense. We make the extra pass. We get any shot we want. We can get layups off that. We can get lobs off that. We can get wide open threes. I don't want us selling for threes. I don't want to walk in at halftime and 50% of our shots are threes. I don't think we're that type of team. We don't practice that way. And we're getting better around the basket posting up. We got multiple guys that can post up. And that's helping us a little bit, but we have to do a better job of making quick passes, moving the ball, and getting down into the paint and creating offense.
When you did start to reel them in a little bit in the second half, what was happening for your guys then? What were they doing? Were they doing something better or differently or just more energetically? Or
I just think it's impossible to create fast break baskets when they're scoring. If they're scoring, now Danny's in my ear, Kenny, KP, they're shooting 65%. They're shooting 68%. Well, how can we get in transition if we're giving up that percentage? That's not who we are. That's not what we talked about. We talked about we need this to be a defensive game, not an offensive game. We knows what happens if we try to you score, I score. We're going to go on a drought, and they're going to keep scoring. So for me, it's about the first half. We got to get stops. We got to run a good offense, and we got to make sure that we're taking good shots. And if it's in 5 seconds in the clock, great. If it's with 30 seconds in the clock, great. I just want good shots.
Kenny, just curious about, I guess, Devin Ree, Fabio Rose. Are they dinged up, just not ready to play? Or
A little bit of both. Again, I just believe you deserve it. Make me believe that you want it by your practice habits, by what you're doing every single day. We need somebody to come help us get a win. And the little things matter, whether it's being on time to tutors, whether it's being on time to class, whether it's going to get treatment, whether it's massage therapy, whatever it is, be on time. When you come to practice to fight, not to not fight. And I'll reward you when you do that. They're good kids. I'm waiting on Fabio. I'm waiting on Devin Reed. I need them to help us win, but I'm not going to give it to them. They will earn it.
Yeah, with Jalen in foul trouble, you played Hersey more in the second half, had a little bit of a smaller lineup. It seemed like you were better offensively. Were you happy with the second half offense?
I thought Hersey was very good, and just so that I'll give this to everyone, if Hersey Miller is solid for us, that's a big win. That's a big win. If he's under control and just playing solid, he's a good defender. He can take the ball out of L's hands, and we can mix it up some and make L what he naturally is, a scorer. That helps us. So I'm happy with the way he played. I'm proud of him. He's making strides in his game. He's getting better. There's more in there, and we got to dig it out. There's more production in there that he can give us. We will dig it out. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, Hersey, can you talk about the emotions of, like, within 10 or 15 seconds thinking you won the game and then finding out you hadn't?
Yeah, well, the emotions on the court was high. You know, we felt like we hit a great shot. We thought we had enough time, and it was something that you don't really know until you review. But I felt like emotions there was definitely, we thought we had the game, and we just couldn't do nothing about it. So we got to be positive and move on and work on that for the next game.
I don't know of any teams that ever started the season with 3 straight 1-point losses. What was the mood in the locker room, and how do you guys keep from feeling sorry for yourselves?
Well, with us, it's been tough. Like you said, the 3 tough losses we took. One thing with us, we keep our heads up and try to be positive. One thing we talked about in the locker room is how we got to work harder and work on situations like this in practice to where we don't have to go through this no more. So we just keep fighting and keep giving our effort at everything we do and go 110% harder than we are right now.
So you mentioned practice. Kenny was just in here and said it hasn't been the best practices recently. What do you think is the cause of having, I guess, subpar practices right now?
Well, like you said, I think it's just effort is what ultimately is the the key to our practice. We just got to give effort, and everyone has to just buy in. And I think that's something we're a new team, so we're all working together to build trust, and we're just getting better every day. So.
You guys, I didn't have a good start shooting tonight. It seemed to get better coming out of halftime. I'm just wondering what was said then, and just any sort of a change of plans coming into the second half.
Well, with us at halftime, one thing we had to highlight is how, like you said, we wasn't having the best shooting. We shot the same amount of shots from the 3 as we did in the 2 for field goal percentage. So we kind of just had the conversation on how we got to start the first 4 minutes off strong and just go to the rim.
With Jalen in foul trouble, you played a lot more, especially in the second half. What were you trying to give the team offense?
Well, with me, I'm a person who brings a lot of energy, and I try to just be a defensive stopper on anyone. Like, that's the one thing I take pride in defense. I feel like I can guard anyone 1 through 5, and I just want to be a player where I bring positivity and energy.
Sorry. You just have that moment there, after L hits that shot where you guys are all, just I'm in a crowd at the corner, but then, just to have that taken away from you, just how badly does it make you want to have that feeling and of, getting the win and, having it stick after, like we talked about, these couple of tough one-loss.
Yeah, but that's definitely a feeling where it's going to stick with us, and it could be a good thing. It could help us just build on what we felt. We don't want to feel that no more, and I feel like that's going to make us work a lot harder to where we don't got to be in situations like that anymore. So I think that, hey, it's a tough loss, but we're going to learn a lot from it. We won't take it as a loss. We'll take it as a lesson. Thank you.
Just, I want to get your thoughts on, on what Coach Payne said to you guys. After, I'm having that basket, I called off, and just, I played these 3 straight games where you've lost by 1 point. How do you guys keep on,
on going forward from that? I just think it's a thing. Like he's always telling us, like we have to change. Like all of us, like we have to like look within ourselves and change individually. And like we can't keep letting teams like punch us in the mouth. Like once the game starts, like once we all step on the floor, and then we get down, and then in the second half we're trying to, claw our way back. Like you see a lot of fight within our team at the end of the game. Like we have to bring that fight from the beginning, from tip off. And really just like that's pretty much it. Just like we all have to change, play as a team, and we have to throw the first punch. So we don't have to keep digging ourselves out of these holes that we're putting ourselves in. But I think we're gonna figure it out.
Why do you think you guys have waited until late in the game to show some urgency instead of showing it from the beginning?
I don't. I think not. I just think it's not. We're not respecting our opponents coming in. Like this is we play a high level game. We're D1 athletes. We have to respect everyone that comes into our arena. Just because we are who we are, and we're Louisville. We have to respect everybody. We have to play physical. We have to play fast, and we have to play together from the jump. And they were talking way more than us. They were playing physical. They were playing together as a team. And then once they punched us in our mouths, we just got down on ourselves, and then we just let it carry over with turnovers. We were getting some of our league guys were getting in foul trouble, and they were going on runs, and then we were going on runs, and then we would turn the ball over. Like we have to, it has to start on the defensive end for us, and it can't be a I score, you score game. It has to be a we score, and then we stop you. So we just have to play with some sense of pride on both ends of the floor, and just respect our opponents, respect everybody.
Kind of on a related note, Coach was in here saying that there hasn't been anything shown in practice in the last couple of days that reflected what he saw late in the game with the way you guys were playing. What's been the cause, I guess, of the subpar practices recently, you think?
I think like our practices are so hard. Some guys we all come in like sometimes dreading not to come to practice, whatever. Coaches just trying to make the practices harder so the games will be easier. But now that like we're coming out to these games and we're not like we're not playing with some or like we're not practicing hard how we would play in the game. Now we have to simulate the practices like it's a real game. So like once we get in these tough positions, like we know what to do, or we won't even be in these positions in the first place to dig ourselves out of these holes, trying to get stops or trying to do whatever to win the game. We need to, like, I couldn't really, we have to take some more sense of pride and, within our team and look within ourselves. Like we all individuals have to change, and then come together and figure it out.
To start the game, it seemed like that they were doing a good job of keeping the ball, keeping it out of the post. And Coach Payne was talking about how he doesn't want to just in the perimeter. You got to move downhill. Was there anything that that you could have done differently during that stretch, or I'm heading into these next several games? Like, are there things you can work on for you guys to get the ball down low
To us
more often? Yeah.
I think first with our bigs is like sprinting into screens and like screening hard and like hitting the opposing guard for our guards to get open. Because I feel like that in turn that'll get us open. Like if we sprint hard into screens, and then we sprint out of the screen, like fly to the rim is what our coach is always telling us. Then that'll get us open, and then that'll put teams in rotations. But for the bigs, it's really just trying to get our guards open, setting big body screens, and then that'll get us open. And then, we trust on our guards, all of them, to make the right play, whether that's hitting us on a short roll or hitting us rolling, or making the right play, making the right pass. So really just it starts with us, screening pretty good for our guards, getting them open, and then that gets us open, and then we play from there.